Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy Nolan Hawkeye Anthony here, and I hope you guys had a fabulous week wherever you may be, and of course, however you may be listening. This is, of course, the Iowa versus Illinois pregame. Man, I always forget to hit the record button. Gosh darn it! This is, of course, the Iowa versus Illinois pregame show. We will be diving in to Iowa hoops, the three games that they have played, my observations thus far. And right off the bat, I got to tell you, they are extremely optimistic, extremely optimistic. They really are. I think a lot of people especially in the media, were concerned about the production that Iowa was losing with Luka Garza. And of course, boom, I love it. That's probably my favorite comment to see is when people say, the boom thing. I think that's awesome. I got to share this out. So be sure to share this out, like, comment, subscribe. Of course, we keep inching closer to 1,000 subs. I am so gratified by the love and support. My Facebook birthday was this past week, and the support from Iowa fans that I received was just amazing. It really was. It was amazing. Some of you guys will know that little thing I just did. There's a podcast that somebody does, and the guy always says, amazing. But the love and the support, maybe not love, but the support was just incredible. I've never lived in the state of Iowa, but I've been to Iowa many times. I've said my family lives in Fort Dodge, of course, Fort Dodge and Des Moines. My aunt's husband is pretty well connected. He's an athletic director. He was the AD for Fort Dodge High School. Of course, Fort Dodge is not very good at sports, but nonetheless, pretty good gig he had there. So I've been to Iowa many times, but again, just the support was absolutely incredible. It was so gratifying to see. And I am more convinced now more than ever. Keep in mind, I've only been to one Iowa game personally in my life because I live in California. I am more, I am absolutely positive that making an appearance in Iowa at an Iowa game, whether football or basketball, probably football, is needed. It's warranted. It would be a lot of fun. I'd bring the camera. I'd probably do interviews with all the Iowa fans, or, some interviews. I'd go to some of the best Iowa City places to eat. But mainly I would hang out with you guys. That's what I would do. And I am as convinced that is something that needs to be done now more than ever. There are pubs and things where people meet in California, and I have been invited to go. And it does sound like a lot of fun, but I will admit this, and I've said this in previous podcasts. I had a lady friend over hanging out when Iowa played Wisconsin, and I had to kick her out. I mean, I don't know what else to say, because Iowa is, it defies logic why Iowa is such an important thing to me. It always has been. It always will be. If Iowa had a water polo team, I would have committed to them like that. It wouldn't have mattered if USC or God himself, if God himself recruited me, I still would have gone to Iowa. But anyways, I am more convinced. So what I'm saying is I have to watch the game by myself because I get super animated. I get really, really animated. And the game obviously is really intense. And that's just what I have to do. It is what it is. And so that what I'm saying is going to a pub and watching the game in person, I would not be able to enjoy it as much as watching the game on my own. Now, the one thing that I noticed when I went to the Iowa versus Wisconsin game a few years back is the Iowa fans in the stands are just as crazy as me. So, it's that would definitely be acceptable. It would definitely be just fine. And it needs to happen. I need to go down there and have a little trip. All right. I want to hit on Iowa hoops really quickly, and I'm going to get to your guys' comments. I do want to make one announcement or two announcements. One, the channel is looking for a sponsor. So that would be great. If you want to contact me, feel free to contact me. I've had sponsors before. It's been great. It's worked out phenomenally. The second thing is that I think I'm going to start allowing people to call in, and I'm going to put you guys on the show. And yeah, I think that's what I am going to do. I think fans are way more entertaining than players will ever be, because players, especially former Iowa players, always say the same cliche stuff. They always do. So that is probably what I would do. All right. Actually, you know what? Before we get to Iowa hoops, okay, I've shared this out a lot. Before we get to Iowa hoops, okay, let's talk about, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, go and follow me on Twitter at 247 Hawkeye. 247 Hawkeye. Okay. I commented back to John here. John, let's go here. John Steppe, whoever he is, posted ESPN Football Power Index, Big Ten West title odds going into today's games. Wisconsin 66.4%, Iowa 20.5%. And I commented, all it takes is one Iowa victory and one Wisconsin loss. Should have never been this close anyways, and it shouldn't have been this close. And he responded back, apparently, need 2 Iowa wins, not 1. John, obviously I know that, dude. Obviously I know that Iowa needs to win out, or the other teams that are close need to lose the rest of their games. What does John think I am? Some sort of moron? Tyrone Tracy, we need to discuss this, okay? I don't know the full extent of the Tyrone Tracy thing, okay? And I want to say this off the bat. A lot of people in today's day and age, especially the media, okay, absolutely baby collegiate athletes and professional athletes for that matter. They baby these individuals. I wish when I was in college and playing sports that I had this kind of niceness that players today receive. They get babied. And matter of fact, and it kind of goes towards recruiting as well, as if it's funny when you watch, if you pay attention to recruiting like I do, okay, if you pay attention to recruiting, you see you'll see Sean Bach always basically do a finger wag at us fans saying, don't, shame on you for tweeting a player. And it's like, dude, your job is following high school athletes. That is your job. But you want to wag your finger at us? At us? But anyways, now that's not me saying that you should be contacting these athletes because, not because I care whether it upsets the athletes, but because they don't care about our opinions. The bottom line is us, reaching out to them doesn't do anything. They're going to choose the school that they're going to choose. So it's a fruitless exercise, kind of like American politics, especially if you live in the state of California like I do. But so anyways, the media culture around Iowa or sports in general is so it is so watered down and babylicious that anyone who is remotely critical gets absolutely put down. Now, Tyrone Tracy, some of the things, and I'm going to pull up my buddy Dean's thing here to kind of pull up what this guy said. You guys, if you guys aren't in the 247hawkeye.com Facebook site, I strongly advise you go over there because it is a good website. I'm trying to find it. But anyways, let's start it here, okay? Tyrone Tracy basically sent out a tweet. Here it is. This post is written by James Russell from another Hawkeye group. I wanted to share his thoughts about Tyrone Tracy. I want to take a moment to point out how great of a person Tyrone Tracy Jr. has been this season. Okay. Again, has Tyrone Tracy really been a phenomenal person, or has he just been a normal person? Okay. But that's maybe a little bit critical. Despite his unexplainable lack of playing time, is it really unexplainable? I don't think so. The bottom line is Tyrone Tracy was given 7 games to be productive, and he hasn't been. The bottom line is when Keegan Johnson and Arlen Bruce were competing for snaps with quarterback Spencer Petras, they were more productive than Tyrone Tracy was. That's the bottom line. And they have a higher ceiling. So if it's basically even, you're going to go with the person who has a higher ceiling. It's not rocket science. But anyways, despite I already did that. Despite his unexplainable lack of playing time, his unexplainable lack of opportunities to make a play with the ball, and the frustrated comments from some of his family members. By the way, that was on, I think it was the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast that was on, where his family basically said he's not getting enough touches, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Again, maybe that's true. Maybe it is. Okay. But you still shouldn't do that you shouldn't do that. Okay. Now, doing what I do or doing what Wash Up Walk-Ons does, okay, and I don't really like plugging them like this, but doing what they do, that is gold. It's gold, them doing that. Every time you go live, you wish that you have something like that. You hope. Now, again, like I said, doing what we do, and because we are actual Iowa fans, unlike the Iowa media, we don't necessarily wish that to happen, okay? Because at the end of the day, I want Iowa's program to be 100% copacetic. So his family did that. Have put on social media about the way things have gone this season. Tyrone Tracy is being one of the most outwardly positive members on the entire team. Are you kidding me? How would you even know that, dude? How would you even know that? And besides, I'm not even sure that that's necessarily true, as Tyrone Tracy has been visibly frustrated, which is fine. No big deal. It's okay to be frustrated. Tyrone Tracy is taking time to interact with the fans at the game and get them excited. Isn't that something he should do? I don't understand what that point is. Okay. Tyrone is going out on the field to celebrate with his teammates, i.e. Charlie Jones, after they make a great play. Tyrone has chosen to remain a positive player and a positive teammate despite his personal struggles with getting the ball this year, and that should not be ignored. Again, that's not true. That's not true. He literally sent out a tweet saying he wanted the ball more, or thought he should be getting the ball more. I think the tweet was basically that if you have a secret weapon, you should use the secret weapon. Again, probably true. So thank you, Tyrone Tracy, for being an amazing and emotionally positive member of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Again, everything is about emotions these days. It's all about emotions. It really is. My thoughts on it are very simple, okay? It's very simple. In this day and age, you absolutely cannot criticize players' play on the field. The bottom line is Keegan Johnson and Arlen Bruce have done much more. I want them to get more snaps, and I think they will get more snaps, and they have gotten more snaps. I don't think anything that guy said was necessarily true. All Tyrone Tracy has to do, I've been in a college program, so I know what the parameters are all about. All you need to do is ask for a private conversation with your position coach or even the head coach, and just say, hey, listen, coach, listen. Okay, I think I'm being underutilized. I'm all for the team, and I think that my individual skill will really help the team win football games. This is how I think I can help the team. A, B, C, and D. Done. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's it. That's it. So it is, the last thing I want to say is, and I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are about this. And I'm not saying that this is some big issue, okay? But I'm going to do a video at the end of the year talking about what players I think leave the program, whether it's to the NFL or in the transfer portal, scholarship players or players who have gotten snaps. And I got to say, I don't think right now, as it stands, I don't think Tyrone Tracy comes back to Iowa. Not because Iowa is a bad program or that Iowa hasn't helped Tyrone Tracy develop or anything like that. I just think he's unhappy. And I think he probably leaves. And it's too bad, because if you really think, especially at the wide receiver position, if you really think about the guys who have left the program, like Desmond Hudson did. Desmond Hudson, 6'4", 6'4" wide receiver out of Raytown, Missouri, has decided to enter the transfer portal. And if you really think about it, the only guy at the wide receiver position who has left Iowa, who has been successful elsewhere, has been Oliver Martin. That's it. Everyone else either doesn't make another roster or goes to another team and gets buried. So I don't think the best move would be to transfer, but I do think he does transfer. All right, moving on. Iowa hoops. Iowa hoops, baby. Iowa has looked phenomenal. I know the contest was somewhat close against North Carolina Central, Here are the KenPom rankings. Iowa is 24th in the country. And it's very simple, okay? And I'm going to see if I can pull up the stats here for Iowa basketball. Jeez. I don't even know how these algorithms work. I mean, honestly, like I don't even look up news information and then boom, that story is blasted in front of me. And I'm not giving any thoughts about it, but it's just, basically what I'm saying is social media is good and bad. I have a flip phone, guys. I have a flip phone. That's my personal cell phone is a flip phone. But the Iowa men's basketball team, there's a few things that have been very positive in my eyes, okay? Number one, Jordan Bohannon has been a lot better off the ball than I expected. And the reason I didn't expect it to be super positive is because what we have seen in previous years with Jordan Bohannon off the ball hasn't been that great. Hasn't been that great. His whole life, he has been a point guard. And it's hard to move to another position. But he has done very good. Now, and I'll get to Jordan Bohannon's record breaking in a second because someone in the comments asked me about that. And so I will touch on that. The other thing is Keegan Murray has been way better than I expected. I thought that if Keegan Murray would average 15 to 17 points a game, things would be looking really, really positive. The dude is averaging 25 and a half points a game. The third thing is the youngsters are playing great, especially Payton Sandfort. Now, in my preview video I did for Iowa basketball, I did say that I thought Payton Sandfort would enter seamlessly into the Iowa basketball team. But not as he has already done, having a 28-point game. So Iowa is 24th in the country in KenPom, and obviously they haven't played anybody significant. I understand. They are 5th in the country in offense and 87th in defense. They need to get into the top 75 as far as defensive efficiency goes. Sorry, guys. Here is an article from 247 Sports basically detailing all the rankings that the Iowa basketball team has. The offensive numbers. So here we go. KenPom 6th, offense 86, defense overall 26. Obviously, Iowa has moved up since then. The offensive numbers for Iowa stand out. The Hawkeyes have been one of the most efficient offenses in the country this year, and that shows with the stats. Iowa has not shot it as well from three as last year, but the Hawkeyes are not turning the ball over, 7th in turnover percentage and 29th in offensive rebounding percentage. Iowa is also 30th in effective field goal percentage. On defense, Iowa is 177th in effective field goal percentage and 157th in turnover percentage. To clarify, the Hawkeyes have not been a great shooting defense and have not forced a lot of turnovers. Opponents are also shooting 34% from three against Iowa, which is 224th in the country per KenPom. Most teams have had longer possessions against Iowa as well. Again, as I said, this defense needs to become a top 75 defense. And as long as they do that, I fully expect this Iowa team to be an NCAA tournament team. I really do. I really do. This team can score. They are an elite scoring team. The only question mark will be what can Keegan Murray stay healthy? Can he continue to play somewhere close to the high level he's playing at? And can the Iowa defense improve? That's the question. All right, let's go to some of the comments here. I want to read some of the comments. Boom, Officer Sicknick. Ari Gold. Hey, Nolan, what's up, Ari? How many games have you been to Iowa City at Kinnick? One. I've only been to one. Michael Morin, Iowa should win this one big today. Iowa is 11-3 against the Illinois under Ferentz, including wins in 11 of the last 12. The airliner. Hawks 37, Illinois 20. I like it. Michael Morin. So is Petrus on the college equivalent of an IR? I looked at the depth chart and Deuce is listed as our backup. From what I understand, apparently Iowa might try to play both quarterbacks, which would be an unmitigated disaster. It would be a full-blown mistake. The only time Iowa should ever have played more than one quarterback was when Spencer was the starting quarterback, and they would bring in somebody with running capabilities to loosen the defense up. But now that you have a running quarterback in there who can run and pass the ball, what element does Spencer Petras bring that they don't already have? So I think it's a massive mistake if they do that. I really do. We talking about practice. William Swafford, Iowa hoops. Yes. Andy Gottschalk. Defense is still an issue, unfortunately. William Swafford, pleasantly surprised by Aaron Eulis. Agreed. I'm going to pull up Illinois versus Iowa. I don't understand why the defense is still an issue. It's not, I remember the Iowa media used to always say, Iowa just isn't athletic. That is BS. They are athletic, okay? Joe Toussaint is one of the most explosive players, not only in the Big Ten, I've ever seen. Okay. And I've seen a lot of phenomenal athletes, including guys like Aaron Gordon and Marcus Lee, who played on my AAU team. Okay. Those guys were freaks of nature. Joe Toussaint is as athletic as it gets. So I don't understand what is going on there. Here are the stats. I don't think Sitkowski will start. I think it's Brandon Peters who will start. C. Brown is the top running back for Illinois. I. Williams is the top receiver. So this is all looking good. ESPN gives Iowa an 81.4% chance to win, and Iowa is considered a 12-point favorite to win this game. And here are the side-by-side comparisons. All right, guys, let's wrap this up here. It's pretty simple, really. And it's pretty much the same game in, game out for Iowa. As long as the defense shows up and can potentially get some turnovers, I believe Illinois will be without Brett Bielema today, which does help. I mean, it would be, if Kirk Ferentz wasn't coaching, that would also be significant. So Illinois is without their coach. I do think Illinois will basically throw the whole kitchen sink at Iowa today. I fully expect that. Iowa needs to be disciplined today. And I'm excited to see the growth of Alex Padilla, Arland Bruce, and Keegan Johnson. I really am. I'm really, really excited to see what their ceiling is together. For the past 3 years, we have all been saying, including myself, Iowa is finally good in the passing game. They finally have an above average wide receiving core. Okay. Except that was never the case. The only person who was really above average was Ihmir Smith-Marsette. And the stats never really panned out that much as well. Okay. By the way, here are the Big Ten scores right now. So I am very excited to see what the growth is there. But overall, with this game being at Iowa, I checked out the Pro Football Focus grades of Illinois. Illinois just is not as good as Iowa. However, Iowa this year has consistently found a way to make every game they should not close. So as much as I hate to say it, I fully expect this game to be close for much of the game. with Iowa pulling it out at the end, unless their offense finally explodes. But again, I expect this game to be close. I really do. And I am going with Iowa 28-20 in this game, and I expect them to win. All right, let's read out the scores and then get out of here. Ohio State is on top of Michigan State, 21-0. I've never been a big believer in Michigan State, including at the beginning of this season. If you go and you look at Mel Tucker, guys, he's not a good coach. When he was at Colorado, he sucked. He's not a good coach. I understand what he's doing with Michigan State this year, but I think that's more a product of the talent he has on the roster than him as a coach. Purdue is on top of Northwestern, 3-0. Rutgers and Penn State are tied at 0. And here are the games later today. Man, we need Nebraska to beat Wisconsin. We really need it, guys. We need it big time. I've never rooted for Nebraska in my life, but we do need it now. So let me see if there's any more comments, and we will get out of here. Pleasantly surprised by Aaron Eulis. I won't say I'm really surprised. The guy was a pretty good recruit coming out of high school. He has the lineage. You know, his brother was a phenomenal point guard. My buddy Marcus Lee played with him over there at Kentucky. He's phenomenal. The heritage is there. I hate to say this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Eulis surpasses Joe Toussaint by midseason. Joe Toussaint, even though he has been much better this season, he's still the same guy that we've known. He's an average shooter, very athletic, good defender, and that's it. And he works extremely hard. But as far as elevating his game to what we haven't seen from him, it just hasn't happened. Ari Gold, we are due for a few picks today. Hawks roll. Ari Gold. William Swafford, great show, Nolan. Go Hawks. Thanks, William. I appreciate it. Their quarterbacks suck, which means they play lights out today. LOL. Andy Gottschalk. The key is and always will be Goodson. If we get him going, Iowa wins big. I like the chances of that happening today. I'd love to have a relaxing time watching this game. You and me both, partner. You and me both. I will say I am not as high on Tyler Goodson as I was going into the season. Somebody commented on one of my videos that basically agreeing with me that Tyler Goodson has not been as good this season. He shies away from contact. For me, he doesn't hit the hole when he should. He dances far too much. I would like to see Gavin Williams. I really would. I think he is the running back Iowa needs. But with that being said, Andy, I do agree with you. If Goodson has a big day, Iowa rolls. Ari Gold, Mel Tucker just got $90 million. Only in America is that possible. So many people, talk this and that about, America. And I don't really want to get into America, but only in America is this possible to make $90 million off of one pretty good season. Andy Gottschalk, Iowa never fails to frustrate. LOL, still got the Hawks winning. Ari Gold, Huskers win 21-20. Ari Gold, we love you, Nolan. Love you too, man. Appreciate it. So true, Andy. Goodson is coming back for his senior year. Absolutely. Absolutely, he is. He has not had a good enough season to go. Michael Moore and Gavin Williams need to get some carries today. Couldn't agree more. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to tune in for the post-game show. I'll be here with you hanging out. More people will be in here. It'll be a good time, as it always is. And I hope to see you guys here. All right, guys. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. And facts are feelings too. Feelings don't matter. Love y'all. Go Hawks. Bye.